In this video, I will demonstrate how to weave. I will demonstrate a basic weaving pattern on a cardboard loom. You will use the same technique on any other loom, even if it's bigger or a stand-up loom. Before you begin, you should gather your materials. You'll need a weaving loom, various yarn, tape, a popsicle stick, a dowel or a needle, and scissors. I'm going to use a small wooden dowel, so I don't need the popsicle stick. You're going to select the yarn that you'd like to begin with. I will begin with this thicker red yarn, and you're going to want to cut your yarn so that it's no bigger than your wingspan, or else it's going to be too hard to pull through. Select your size, cut your yarn. Once you've cut your yarn, you're going to attach it to your dowel so that it will act like a needle and thread. You'll use tape to do this. Tear off a 2-inch piece of tape, stick it to the end of your yarn. So once it's stuck on the yarn, you're going to want to attach it to your dowel by putting your dowel right up against the yarn, and then you're going to fold it around to make it flat. So if any pieces are hanging up, you're going to want to really push those down so they do not get caught on your loom. So I have my needle and thread. To begin weaving, you're going to put the needle under the first piece and go under. So pull up that first piece, pull your thread all the way through, and leave about 2 to 3 inches hanging. You're going to want that tail to stay there until the end, so you're going to have to be careful not to pull it all the way through. So I went under my first one. On my next one, I'm going to go over. So I'll skip it, and I'll go under the third piece, pull it all the way through, letting my tail hang. Over, under the next one, pull it all the way through, push it up. Skip the next one, I'll go over, under, pull it all the way through. So as you can see, I'm skipping every other one. I'm going under, over, under, over, under, over, under. My next one I'll go over and then under. You want to make sure that you only go under one at a time and over one at a time. If you do two, your weaving will not be as strong and it'll look uneven. Over, under, and then my last one, I will go over. So I finished my first row. After my first row, I'm going to want to start on my second row by turning the corner. So I'll pull up this piece of yarn and go under it. I'm going under because I went over on the first one. So I'll go under, pull it all the way through. So I'm starting my second row. Once you get used to it, you can quickly pull up pieces. So I'm over, under, over, under, over, pull up the second one for under, over, under, over, under. So I did every other one, and then I'll just pull it all the way through. You want to make sure that you don't pull it too tight, so you can pull out and push it up to make it nice and tight. When I get down to here, I'm going to want to turn my corner again, and like on the last one, I went over, so I'm going to go under. I'll pull up every other one to go under it, and then pull all the way through. Turn the corner, going under every other one, all the way through. And you will continue this until you're out of yarn. If you decide that you think that this is enough of that color, you can actually cut a small tail, leave it hanging, and choose a new color. So I'll show you how to do that now. So I'll carefully pull this yarn off, and I will choose a new color. I will choose this orange. So for this one, I want it to be not quite as long as this one. So I'm going to just cut off a small piece. I'll get a tape. I'll get my tape. And I'll prepare my yarn like a needle and thread. Starting where I left off. So I left my tail hanging right here, so I'm going to start on this side. Since this tail ended going over, I'm going to do the opposite and go under. So under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And then I'll pull it all the way through. And just like when I started on the last yarn, I want to leave a little tail. And I'll just continue in the same way. So I'll continue under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And I'll continue weaving with that yarn until I'm ready to start a new color or until I run out of this. If I wanted this to be longer, I could do orange again, or I can add a new color.